But our first speaker today is Kayla Sirrell, who came to my attention via, I think it was our closed Facebook page originally. I was contacted by some producers that were putting together a TV show for to be launched through the ABC called Employable Me, and put a call out amongst our community. I met the producers and I vetted them, and I felt they had integrity, researched what they'd done in the past. And so then I was happy to put the call out amongst our community to ask for people that may be interested in this, and Kayla responded, and we're so pleased. So I'd like to invite Kayla up to come and talk to us from a personal perspective of someone living with Tourette syndrome. That's okay. Hot off the press. It looks good. Sorry, Kayla, I didn't mention before, we are live streaming today, which is amazing. So when the speakers come up, please really speak into the microphone. If you drop down like that, they won't hear you. So thank you.
Thanks, Kayla. Hi. Obviously, my name is Kayla. I am 23 years old and obviously I have Tourette's. You may not see it at the moment, because I'm so nervous and I'm holding so much in, and I don't want to scare anyone. But I was diagnosed at 19, which is very scary. It's very scary to be at this age. At 19, I'm now 23, but at 19 I was really scared. It's really hard to be, sorry.
No one national television.
Yeah, it's really hard to be a teenager and even probably a young person with Tourette's, because you get bullied quite a lot. My tics, they involve a lot of swearing, hitting, obscene gestures, which is really embarrassing, and many other things that are very embarrassing. And I try my best to come out there and be myself, but it is quite hard on public transport and other areas and just in public in general, because many people judge you, because obviously there's a thing out there where you see on movies and TV where instantly people think, oh, Tourette's is just mainly swearing. There's only a couple of Tourette's sufferers out there that do swear and insult people and all the other kind of disgusting things or inappropriate things, and it's really hard because people just assume, and you get bullied and you get abused at something that you can't help. And even if you don't have the swearing or the insults or the obscene gestures, it's like you still get bullied anyway, and a lot of people with Tourette's would understand that. I've had people take photos of me, videos of me on public transport, in public in general, And I've had school kids, even at my age, bully me because I'm whistling or I look like I'm on some kind of drug, which is horrible to say, but a lot of people do think that because, like, the public just think and assume things. But all in all, I think that my Tourette's is quite wonderful and it's different. It's nothing like what obviously normal people have. So I'm quite different and quirky, and I think that just makes me me, and I wouldn't change that ever. Yeah. The daily struggles that I face, I do have a lot of comorbidities, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, comorbids that come with Tourette's, such as OCD, anxiety, ADD, depression, sensory issues. Lately I've been really struggling with my sensory issues. I can't eat egg because I feel like, I don't know, it's just my sensory stuff. And I'm in pain every day. And sometimes if you don't see that I'm ticking in my brain. And if that's relatable to people with other neurological disorders and just, Tourette's, please talk to me about it because I'm so eager to know if anyone else has it. I stay up at night quite a lot because I can't think, I can't do anything because my tics are in the way. It's just really hard. So if anyone with Tourette's understands, please talk to me because I'm here to help. I'm here to talk to anyone and everyone. I'm not really sure what else to say. I'm happy to answer questions.
Would anyone like to ask Kayla any questions? I'll just see if there's anything on the
Hi.
What have you been going since you saw me from Employable Me? The question, sorry, I'll just put it in here so the live streaming can hear. The question was, what has Kayla been doing since having been on Employable Me?
I'm doing a few things. A lot of social media people have come out to me and have asked me if I'd like to go on radio to raise awareness, and there's a few things on TV that I've done. I've been currently thinking of trying to start I haven't really talked to anyone about it except for my mum, but I've been thinking of talking around schools and employment agencies to get my word across and everyone else's kind of point of view across with Tourette syndrome. And I want to talk at schools and give presentations and do some fun things with kids and even employers, like even that would be fun and a good learning kind of thing. But I've been doing that kind of thing, and then been doing some music, but I've held on it for a bit because I've been a bit busy. That's what I've been doing, spreading awareness. Thank you.
Has anyone else got any questions for Kayla? Yes. The question from the audience was, how severe is your Tourette's? That's a really, really hard question to answer, but a good question.
It's a very good question. How severe is it? There are most days where I hardly tick, and they're facial expressions and movements with my arms and my feet. I have a lot of words that come out of my mouth, silly words mostly. It's pretty full on sometimes, but then other days I'm pretty good and chill. But right now I'm feeling a bit chill because I feel better that I'm with everyone that has Tourette's and people that are learning about Tourette's and all that kind of thing. I'm not sure if that answered your question.
It's a good comment that being with people who you know understand helps you chill and relax. So that's important. Yeah. I think that something you mentioned earlier was, being in public and having people not understand the stigma associated, and that's something that we've been working really, really hard to try and break the stigma around Tourette's and the perception that it must involve swearing when we know that it's
there's only
a certain percentage that have the swearing. However, for those that have it, it's extremely difficult for them to have to experience it as well. So there was a question up the back. Yes.
Hi.
How do you respond, if at all, to people who maybe do make comments to, rude comments or staring? Do you ever say it's Tourette's, or do you, what do you?
I'll just repeat the question, sorry for the people. The question was, how do you respond to people when they approach you? Do you answer and say, I have Tourette's, or what? It's very difficult to know how to respond, so I'll see what Kayla does.
I respond in different ways. It just depending on the situation. I do often kick and flick people and punch them and kick them. Whoever is close to me, I will do that. And there are a lot of people that do sit next to me on transport. So if I do that to them, I try and explain it. But by the time I try and explain it, they usually walk off, or they're like, oh my God, so rude. So it's hard. But with teenagers and any other kind of person, really, I try to explain it as much as possible, but often people don't really understand, or they have their own thing in their mind where it's like, you don't have that. Because some people, like at the same time, there's some days where I'm not ticking and stuff, and even my friends, my best friends, or was best friends, have accused me of faking things, and you can't fake Tourette's, for one, and I don't want to be in pain all the time. Yes, why would you want to fake Tourette's? But yeah, I usually try and talk to them, but if they walk away, then I can't really help that. Or I give them a bit more information about it. If they don't, if they tell me, oh no, that's not what Tourette's is, you're not swearing. If some days I'm not swearing, can't really help that. I'll just talk to them and be like, hey, this is my information. I know this about me, and I know there's other people with Tourette's that often don't swear, but doesn't mean I don't have Tourette's, because people just assume that if you swear you have Tourette's. So, yeah, it kind of...
Thank you. That was another really good question. I think for anybody who's experienced having Tourette's, or advocating for a child that's had Tourette's, one of the hardest things is how do you say succinctly what it is. So that's what today is all about too, and our camps are fantastic for that. Like, we've had children come to our camps and they've learnt the language to use, the words to use, and heard other children how they might explain it. So coming today and sharing, and you'll probably hear some other stories from some other people about how they might explain it. It is a very difficult thing, and as you say, it's got to be the words that you're happy to use, and it's about your case of Tourette's and what you're comfortable to say about yourself or about your children. So it's very personal, but it's not easy to do, and it takes time.
I try to explain it as much as possible, and I hope people understand without my mental breakdown.
Thank you. I've got a question in the front.
Hi.
I have a question about your diagnosis. So you were 19 when you were diagnosed.
Yeah.
When did you notice your tic behaviours?
Sorry, so the question was, you were diagnosed at 19, because that's quite late. So when did you notice your tic behaviours come on?
I noticed my tic behaviours come on probably around 17, around 17. But later on, when we finally got it diagnosed and stuff, me and Mum figured out that there were a few things that I did when I was younger that we just didn't notice, and we thought were habits. I used to tug on my shirt all the time, chew my hair, chew my collars. Yeah. I break my knuckles all the time, so I've always done it. And Mum's like, can you stop doing that? It's not good for you. And I'd be like, I can't stop that. I can't help it, Mum. But yeah, probably around 17. Yeah.
Yeah, benefit of hindsight, isn't it? I think a lot of parents are nodding their head with that one as well. Yes, a question here.
Do you feel tired a lot?
Do you feel tired a lot, was the question.
Yes. I do a lot of all-nighters because I just don't sleep. Or sometimes I'll have a lot of naps during the day because I'm so exhausted and so tired. Even if it's a chilled out day and I don't have many tics and stuff, I often have a lot stuck in my brain that just don't disappear until they disappear. So that's really exhausting as well. Using all of my energy just for my Tourette's often makes me really tired. I'm always yawning, I'm always trying to keep myself up because of all the activities that I do, even though I don't do any activities. Yeah, I try and keep a normal life as much as possible, but I a lot of the time sleep during the day because I'm so tired and exhausted. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, a question up the back.
You mentioned earlier that in public you hit and kick people. Is that a tick in itself, or do you have the urge to physically hurt somebody?
Sorry, the question was, you mentioned that you might kick or hit people. Is that a tick in itself, or is it an urge or a feeling of an urge of a need to actually hurt someone?
I don't have the need to hurt anyone because I love everyone and I don't want to hurt anyone, but I think it is more of a tick thing. I always, if I'm with my mum, because she's my best friend, I'm always close to her. I'm always like flicking her or hitting her on the shoulder or something like that, but it's not anything hurtful, hopefully. And I always apologise after because it's obviously not my fault and I don't want to hurt anyone. It's definitely not something I want to do, hurt people. Yeah, I know that on public transport a lot of older people sit next to me and they're all frail and cute and small, and I try not to hurt them because apparently I look like a kind person, so they sit next to me thinking that, but I do apologise to them a lot. I apologise to anyone and everyone that I've ever done it to, but I do it to mostly people that are close to me, so kind of a bit safe there, but yeah, I don't do it intentionally at all. I just do it with my Tourette's.
That's really interesting because that's quite common. Another story we hear is that, if you're a parent, my experience is I've got 2 children with Tourette's, and as a parent, my son in particular lashed out mostly at me because he was safest with me. And that's quite a common story, and it makes it hard for you when you're that person, but it's a double-edged sword. I went, yay, he feels safest with me, but... So yeah, it absolutely supports everything you've just said.
I'd even do it with my my closest friends, but they understand that, so they do it back. They do it back to me. They're like, "Why did you pinch me?" And then they pinch me, but they know exactly what's going on. They just do it playfully. But yeah, I think I do it more with people that I'm close to. But if I'm having a bad day, I'll just like flick people. I'll be like, "I'm so sorry. This is what I have, and this is what's going on. I don't mean to hit or flick you or punch you." It's usually from here down. It's not anything like facial wise. I do it to myself quite a lot. My leg gets a lot of it in my head. I punch my temple quite a lot and gets me quite dizzy. Yeah. Well, I forget, okay? It's a lot of, yeah. I do forget things, so I apologise. Yeah.
Okay, has anyone got any more questions before we... Yes, we've got one.
Do you take medication
Do you take medication to relieve or suppress your tics?
No. And I have a few friends that are on the other side of Australia, and I think there's one that I'm friends with that is here. They take medication, and they've said, don't take it. It makes you a zombie, and it gives you no emotion. It just makes you so bare and blunt. So I choose not to take medication. I usually just listen to ASMR or meditation music or just music in general, and it keeps me a bit more calmer. Or I go to sleep, or I take pain medication if I'm in pain because of my tics, like a headache or if I've hit myself and stuff, then I would take that kind of medication, but I would never take that other kind of medication. I've also been advised not to by my neurologist because it will mess with my brain, because I do have brain damage and a lot of other things wrong with my brain more than my Tourette's. And yeah, I think I would choose not to for myself, but if anyone does take medication and they really need it, then obviously take it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have to say that.
Okay, one more before we go, or Kayla just answered. My question was going to be, you mentioned you had pain every day, and you just commented on it then.
Yeah.
To ask what was the pain from, you hitting yourself, or you mentioned headaches.
Yeah, I have this thing. I'm not sure if anyone else has it, because I haven't really spoken to many people about it. I've talked to doctors about it, and then kind of like, whatever. Where like I have like it's kind of like a tingling sensation in my brain, but at the same time it's really painful. It's kind of like when you feel like you're about to tick, then you let it out, but in my brain it's not coming out, it's stuck there, and sometimes it's stuck there forever, and I just get migraines, I get headaches, I get really tired from it, probably because my brain's like, I need to let this out, but yeah, I get it a lot. Sometimes I lose my vision because of how hurtful the pain is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're someone that's had really bad migraines, you know it can really affect the vision as well. So that's interesting. Thank you. I'll just do a quick check that there isn't a question online. I can't see one online. So I'd like to really thank you, Kayla, for being so honest and brave and courageous to stand up here in front of the room today. And to share your personal, individual story and case of Tourette's, because it really does help. We started having someone start the conference a few years back, quite a number of years back actually, who has Tourette's, because one of the feedback I got was we have lots of people get up and talk about Tourette's, but from one mother came up the first year we did it, and she said in that first 5 minutes of meeting someone, a lovely young adult such as Kayla who has Tourette's, was worth 6 months of her counselling, of trying to manage it. So it's really powerful what you're able to do today to meet everybody in this room. So thank you very much,
you.
Kayla.